Good morning. This is job 6. I'm here to remove the cannon pinion this morning. I'm going to do it in 3 parts. I'm going to present the problem, which is remove the cannon pinion, present the normal solutions, and then the solution I devised. Actually, that's a normal? No, that's a solution I devised. So, normal solutions and fancy tool for removing watch hands, and then a tool I made to use this to remove the cannon pinion. The cannon pinion is the pinion on the center wheel, and it's special because the center wheel transfers the motion of the motion work from the movement side to the dial side. So you have the center wheel turning at 1 rotation per hour because of the motion of the motion work, and that needs to be transferred to the minute wheel through the movement. So now we're on the movement side. That is the center wheel right there. That's the center wheel, and I can't take it off because the pinion is friction fitted on the other side. And the shaft of tighten this so I can show you. The shaft of the center wheel is very fine. So let's do that. Oh yeah, you can see that. All right. That's a profile of it. Actually, you can see the whole thing. So what you're seeing there on the left is the movement side shaft of the center wheel that would go in, I'll point to it, that would go in the bridge, another piece of the casing of the movement that has a bearing to fit on that center wheel post shaft there. So then on the other side, as you can see through, that's the other end of the center wheel, and it's thicker because it has the cannon pinion on it. And it's friction fitted on. I have to get it off. All right, I switched views and going back to the tools. So I have these tools here that you can use like this to pry up the cannon pinion. These are really used for watch hands. They're only about $10. The next 2 tools are about $70, and this one, you squeeze on the handle here, whatever you call that, the handle, and it makes multiple movements at the same time. I'm going to zoom in on what's happening here. All right. The theory is it can grip the cannon pinion, and then that post pushes the cannon pinion through. But as you can see, it's not centered. It's hard to get that centered, and you're putting a lot of force on the squeeze. And the harder you want to push, the harder you have to squeeze. So that's a challenging tool to use. The good thing about this tool is it pushes on the post though, and I'll show you what the alternative is. Here's why I wanted to find a new method, because I think this is the right way to do it. This is another $70 tool. And again, that grips, it's similar to the other one. So you squeeze it and it grips, but instead of, I'll zoom in, instead of pushing on the post of the cannon pinion, this one pushes on the dial side of the watch. So this grips the cannon pinion, and then the white pieces push on the dial side of the watch to pull the cannon pinion off, but it's pulling on the shaft of the center wheel. So you're playing a game of wishbone, in my opinion, really. Playing a game of wishbone, hoping that that center wheel shaft doesn't break off before the cannon pinion comes off. And you're squeezing. The tighter you squeeze to pull harder, you're squeezing on the cannon pinion also, and you could be tightening it a little bit. And I thought that was just a problem that I had, but on videos they say, yeah, sometimes the cannon pinion or the center wheel shaft breaks. Let's solve that. So, my solution, this is the Horotec watch hand remover tool. And this is designed only for removing watch hands because this part of the tool doesn't grip. It only lifts. It gets under the watch hands and lifts. So it can't grip the cannon pinion. So when I put this movement under here, I'm gonna shift this up. When I put this under, it doesn't grip, but the nice thing is, I'm going to do it in this view right here, once you get under it, if you can get the cannon pinion gripped on the top side of this lifter part of the tool, then it has a pin, a tiny pin, I'll get the measurements of that can push the shaft down through the cannon pinion and remove the cannon pinion. So, to use this, all I need to do is grip that cannon pinion on the top side. So, this is the modification tool. Show it like this. All right. The tip of this tool can grip the cannon pinion. Okay. That was, I think, way easier than I thought. I didn't have to grip it at all. I realized when you push on the top of the center wheel shaft, let me make sure I got this thing out. When you push on the top of the center wheel shaft, the cannon pinion is pushing on the movement, so you just have to hold the movement. So is it out? I think so. Maybe not all the way. There it goes. Right, the cannon pinion is now on. The cannon pinion is now on my pin. So I gotta get that off, but I don't think it's tight. Let's find out. Nope, it's barely on there. Okay. So pull this back. I just tap it. There it goes. All right, cannon pinion's off. Unneeded. I don't know if you can see that. Unneeded. Yeah, not needed. Done. And I would say, highly recommend as a cannon pinion remover. Highly recommend as a cannon pinion removal tool. That was easy, and I did not risk breaking the center wheel shaft. I just want to come off the tripod and show how controlled this removal was. So you can see the end of the tool. The cannon pinion's just sitting there. Didn't move at all, didn't pop off. And on the other side of the movement, drop down, center wheel, just like you want. Okay, I just want to go under magnification and show why I did it that way. This is the center wheel now removed from the movement, and that's the shaft that you'd be pulling against to remove that. Look how tiny that is. That's the tip of a sharp tweezers. I mean, here's my sharpest tweezers. And it's 0.3 millimeters. Also, and then the cannon pinion, you're not going to break that probably, but you don't want to pull against that shaft. So instead, I used the press to push on the end of the shaft and push the shaft through the cannon pinion and out. Controlled, no breakage.